Just the Chosen One, and I am the owner of I Am the Vibe Candles, where candles are curated to activate your mind, body, and soul through scent and sound. And I am here with another video. If you haven't checked my last one out, please head on over, make sure you do that. It is the introduction of the new member of the I Am the Vibe family, and that is the wax crumble. So if you have a wax melter at home, you may want to get into that. So yeah, so let's get into this next little video. Today we're going to talk a little bit about pop-ups and my experience so far, and some of the things that I'm going to be taking in with me during this next season of pop-ups. If you are in the city of Indianapolis, you know that it is about that time for us to start, getting into it. The springtime is a time where people start branding and introducing their pop-ups and inviting people out, and that's kind of really the best time in the city for it. So if you are not into it, make sure you get into it. How does one find out about the mini pop-ups and things that happen in the city? Well, I would say join some groups on Facebook. There's some vending groups. Just literally put in Vending Indianapolis, put that in your search bar, and then something will come up. Join the group, somebody will let you in. Tap into that. On Instagram, there's actually a group you can get in, literally do the same thing, vending in your state if you're not in Indianapolis. And you can start to see in those groups some pop-ups in some areas that are near you, that are far, however you want to do it. So I got maybe, I would say, about 3 little tips here for us to talk about today. The first one is going to be to make sure that you have a pop-up checklist. So in your pop-up checklist, you want to make sure you have all the things that you're going to need for yourself when it is time for you to walk out of that door and you are going to get to your pop-up. That's number one. You want to make sure you have your pop-up checklist. Pins, all of those things. Make sure you have that. Candy, if you're going to have it. One thing that I'm going to be doing that I didn't do before was pass out like maybe some candy. I've noticed that one of my friends, two of my friends, they actually did that at their pop-ups, at their event. So I'm going to take that little thing away, and I'm going to make sure that I put some candy and stuff like that on the table. And then I usually give matches away in my bags. So I think I'm going to put some of those out on the table. Maybe I'm going to get a stamp or something like that just to put on there on the outside so people remember, they know who I am. I think that would be amazing. So I'm going to do that as well. Number 2. Make sure that you are helping to market the pop-up that you are going to be selling at. You want to see familiar faces when you go there, and you just want to see faces, period. So it is up to you to, along with the curator of whatever event you're going to be doing your pop-up at, make sure that you are working with them to make sure that you are marketing the event. You are posting flyers, the flyers that they may have made, flyers that you have personally made, all of the things. That's number 2. Number 3, you want to make sure that it is worth your time, your energy. Is the event going to line up with your brand and what you stand for? Because that's always important, because you kind of are a representation of whoever puts the programming on. So keep that in mind. And just make sure you're going to be awake. Like, people want to know who you are. They want to know about your brand. They want to know about your business, and who better to tell it other than yourself? So make sure that you kind of have your elevator pitch kind of in order, because you don't even know who's going to be out there, who's going to be asking you questions. You want to be ready. You got to stay ready. So just be mindful of that. If you're an introvert, bring yourself out. Just, I don't know what you have to do, but talk to the people. Like I said, people want to know about your brand, and be questionable. Ask them questions. If you're a candle maker, you can ask them, what drives you to buy candles? What do you look for in candles? What do you look for in whatever? I mean, just kind of drive the conversation. You know your brand better than anybody else, and you have to tell that story when you're talking to the people. So I don't really care if it's a big pop-up, if it's a small pop-up. Make sure that you're present, make sure you're there, because like I said, you just never know who you're going to run into, who you're going to meet, what you might learn from those people, and all the things. So yeah, there's that. And I think another thing that I'm going to do in this season of pop-ups is I think I'm going to start driving myself to the places before I get there, so then that way I know how much time I really need, and I can kind of scope out what the parking's gonna look like, because I have found in the past that it could be very, very frustrating trying to figure out what the parking situation is for a spot. Or sometimes, you know, people have pop-ups in areas that you may not drive past on a day-to-day, so you just may not know where you're going, and you have to make sure that you have time for that. Oh, also to make sure that you have snacks packed. Make sure that you have that on your checklist, because you might get hungry. Yeah, so happy pop-up season to you. All right, so that is the end of this video. I hope you guys learned something. If you haven't learned anything, then that's cool too. But if you made it to the end, I really do appreciate you for watching my video. If you have some pop-up experience that you want to talk about below, or maybe talk about a pop-up that you may be at in the city or something like that, in your city, in my city, it doesn't matter. You can post that down at the bottom. I'd love to hear from you, and the people would love to hear from you as well. Sharing is caring. Keep the conversation going. Y'all know how it goes. And as always, you can find me on Instagram at I Am The Vibe Candles. You can find me on TikTok at just the Chosen One, and you can find me on the web and shop I Am The Vibe Candles at IamTheVibeLLC.com. Until next time.